Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how to make pasta pie. This is a recipe I found on Pinterest. You'll need 1 pound of ground beef, and you're going to want to go ahead and start browning that as you're waiting for your water to boil for your pasta noodles. And when I'm doing ground beef, I like to season it as I cook it and then season it again later when it's in the sauce. So I added some fresh ground pepper and some garlic powder to it. And once everything is completely cooked and brown, you're going to want to go ahead and drain it completely, get all the grease out of it, and return it to the pan and add the pasta sauce to it. Just a regular jar of pasta sauce. I think the standard size jar is like 26 ounces. I ran mine through the blender to make sure there wasn't any chunks of tomatoes or anything that's going to stop it from getting in between the noodles. And then I seasoned it again while my noodles are cooking. The rigatoni noodles. I'll go ahead and put everything in the description, the recipe. And I seasoned the sauce again, pepper, garlic powder, Italian seasoning. And I let it simmer for about 25 minutes just as the noodles are cooking. Then you're going to want to drain the noodles once they're cooked. And as they're still kind of wet, transfer them into a separate container. And you're going to want to add a cup of Parmesan cheese. What that does, it'll kind of coat all the noodles and help it stick together to make the pasta pie. And the next step, you're supposed to use a cheesecake pan, a springform pan, I think is what they call it. Springform. But I didn't have one. I thought I did. So I ended up using an 8-inch cake pan, and it worked fine. It would be a lot easier to release the pasta pie if I would use a cheesecake pan, but like I said, I didn't have one. But it still worked. So this is the longest process, is stacking them all in here. It did use pretty much the entire box of pasta. There was maybe a handful of noodles left over, and I could have squeezed them in there, but I wanted to make it easier. I didn't want to make it too tight in there that the sauce couldn't, maneuver in between the noodles. So once that's done, you're going to want to take the pasta sauce and start putting it on top. I used several different methods. I tried moving it around with a spoon. I tapped it a little bit. I even, towards the end, took a chopstick and was kind of randomly stabbing it to try to get the sauce in there because it didn't look like it was going to work. The sauce wasn't going anywhere. It didn't look like it was moving down, but it does as it cooks. It turned out just fine. And once you get all the sauce on there, you're going to want to put it in a preheated oven. I think I preheated mine about 400 degrees and cook it for about 15 minutes. And then when you take it out, you're going to want to cover it with mozzarella cheese and put it back in the oven for 15 minutes. And as you can see, I didn't do that. I read the recipe wrong and just stuck it in the oven like that. And it did turn out okay. It didn't seem to stick as well. Um, but the next day when we had leftovers, I was able to cut it like a pie and serve it that way. So it's kind of neat. So I did put it on a cookie sheet in case any of the cheese would spill over, but it didn't. It was perfectly fine. As you can see here. And it was really good. And you could tell, you could kind of see the sauce. You could tell it got in between the noodles, it got inside the noodles. So it did eventually, as it was cooking, start sinking down. So let me know if you have any questions or comments. The recipe will be below. Thanks, guys.